Here.
4 present, 2 absent.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Semple.
I would like to move, into the executive session per our work session pursuant to Idaho Code Section 74-2061F. I move to enter executive session to communicate with legal counsel to discuss pending litigation.
So moved. Second.
Second.
We need a roll on that. Can we have the roll?
Semple,
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Erstad,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we will run through the agenda very quickly and then give you just a few minutes break before we get started at 6 o'clock. Okay, so on tonight's agenda, fairly full. So item number 1 has been deferred a few times. It is proposed for the consent agenda tonight. So DRH 24-00326 at 4709 West State Street. We would propose that for the consent agenda. Item number 2, a new data center on at 9601 West Emerald Street, DRH 25-00037. We would also recommend that for the consent agenda. Item number 3, new 2-story medical office building at 13666 West Bald Cypress Street, DRH 25-00061. We would recommend that for the consent agenda. Item number 4, new 4-story mixed-use building at 10 South Latah Street, DRH 24-00397. We will hear that item.
Mr. Chair, or sorry, Josh. I'll be recusing myself from that item.
Okay.
My firm is the landscape architect of record.
Josh, as the developer of that project, I will also recuse myself.
Yep, absolutely. And finally, item number 5, DRH 24-00447 at 601 West Gowan Road, self-service storage facility. We would propose that for the consent agenda as well. And barring any questions, see you in a few minutes for the hearing.
Good evening and welcome to the April 9th, 2025 Design Review Commission hearing. I believe staff has an introduction to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening and welcome to the Boise City Design Review Commission public hearing. A few things to start out with for tonight's proceedings. Everyone from the public entering the hearing virtually has been automatically muted and cannot speak. As the item you're interested in comes up for discussion, you will be called upon and unmuted. There's a chat function in Zoom. This is not part of the record and should only be used if technical difficulties arise. Our procedures for public hearings begin with a presentation from the planning team. Then we'll go to the applicant and then the representative of the Registered Neighborhood Association, followed by questions from the commission. After that, we proceed to public testimony, starting with those who are in person, then those who signed up on the sign-up sheet in advance, and then anyone else who raises their hand either virtually or in person. If you are attending through your telephone, you can type in *9 to raise your hand. Each member of the public is allowed up to 3 minutes for testimony. We are strict with this time as it is limited in code. Finally, the applicant is allowed 5 minutes for rebuttal, after which the hearing will be closed and the commission will deliberate and render a decision. And with that, Mr. Chair, you have the floor.
Thank you, Josh. We are citizen volunteers appointed by the mayor and approved by the city council. Any decision made tonight may be appealed to the city council, provided that the appeal is filed within 10 days of this hearing. In order to file an appeal, you must have given written or oral testimony at tonight's meeting. That's why it's important to give your name and address when you testify tonight. We utilize a consent agenda. This means that if the applicant agrees with the staff report and if there is no public opposition, the item will be placed on the consent agenda. All items that are placed on the consent agenda are approved with one motion without further public comment. For items not on the consent agenda, we will hold a full public hearing in the order just detailed a few minutes ago with staff, applicant, neighborhood association, and then the public testimony. Thank you all for attending tonight. Christina, will you please call the roll?
Simple,
Here.
Marsh. Aguilar,
Here.
Erstad,
Here.
Bull. Johnson,
Here.
4 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. Let's move to the approval of last month's minutes. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Simple.
I would move approval of the Design Review Commission work session minutes dated March 12th, 2025, as well as the Design Review Commission meeting minutes from March 12th, 2025 as well.
So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Christina, would you please call the roll?
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Erstad,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
Moving to the consent agenda, we have 4 items proposed tonight for the consent agenda. Item number 1, DRH 24-00326. Is the applicant present? Do you agree with all conditions and findings? Item number 2 is there any member of the public that is here to testify against item number 1 online? Seeing none, we have item number 2, DRH 25-00037 at 9601 West Emerald Street. Is the applicant present? Do you agree with all conditions? Is there any member of the public here or online to testify against this item? Seeing none. Item number 3, DRH 25-00061 at 13666 West Bald Cypress Street. Is the applicant here? Here. Do you agree with all conditions in the staff report? Is there any member of the public present or online to testify against? Seeing none, moving to item 5, DRH 24-00447 at 601 West Gowan Road. Is the applicant here? Do you agree? Is anyone here that disagrees? Seeing none, do we have a motion to create and approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Simple.
I would move approval of the consent agenda consisting of item DRH 24-00326 at 4709 West State Street, item DRH 25-00037 at 9601 West Emerald Street, DRH 25-00061 at 1366 West Bald Cypress Street, and DRH 24-00447 at 601 West Gowan Road.
So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Christina, would you please call the roll?
Simple,
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Erstad,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
Then we will move to our main event for the evening, which is item 4, DRH 24-00397 at 10 South Latah Street, at which point Commissioners Semple and Erstad will recuse themselves.
Josh, before we open this item, I have concerns about the commission and members of the commission present to hear this item. As obvious, I'm the only person on the dais, and we do have another commissioner who is calling in, who's participating virtually. What are our options to potentially defer this item so we can have more of our commission members in attendance to hear?
Madam Chair, so the option to defer this item is certainly up to the commission's discretion, which at this point is yourself and Commissioner Johnson. So you have the ability to defer this item to have more commissioners present at the next hearing. We would recommend that you open the hearing to the applicant and allow them to confirm their availability and express any concerns about that plan of action, but you certainly do have that at your discretion.
Thank you. So before us is item number 4. Where is it here? DRH 24-00397. Merced Architects, address is 10 South Latah Street. Construct a new 4-story mixed-use building with ground level commercial and 41 residential units on the property in an MX1 mixed-use neighborhood zone. I guess I would like to open it up to the applicant to see if they have any concerns about deferring this item to the next meeting, which, can you remind me what the date would be?
Yes, that would be May 14th. And Madam Chair, I would also recommend asking any members of the public if they cannot attend that hearing, if they would like to testify tonight.
Great. I guess I would like to have the applicant respond first, and then I'll open it to the public if they have any concerns with the potential deferral of this item.
Sorry. James Maria here, developer for the project. I guess I would express some concern. That's a 5-week delay for us. Our whole team is here and prepared tonight. There's a lot of work that's went into this, as I know all the commissioners are aware of. We're joined here by members of our team. So I guess this is me saying I would prefer to not defer as we're all here. I would say too, is it just one other, because it's not like at a later date, Ben and Ryan, they're going to recuse themselves again. So is it one other potential board member that could be present in the future?
Madam Chair, we do have 2 members absent tonight, so it would be 2 additional members.
Okay. Yeah, I guess just for the record, prefer to not defer, especially 5 weeks. So.
Thank you. Is there any members of the public that would have any concerns if this item was deferred to May 14th? Okay, hearing none. Thank you for expressing your concerns and wanting to be heard tonight. But we have 2 members of the commission here. I think there's an opportunity for 4. I think it's really important that not only your application is heard, but also that the public's heard. And I think there would be some concerns if we rendered an opinion, whether it's a recommendation or a rejection or conditions, with only 2 members of the entire commission. So I would feel more comfortable if this item was deferred to May 14th. I don't believe I can make that motion. Is that correct? Okay. So, sure.
I mean, meeting's gonna wrap up here in a second. I guess, is it possible to get a date set for earlier than May 14th? I mean, we're trying to deliver housing units in the city of Boise. This is a day-for-day delay for us in the entitlement process. Is there the ability, given the circumstance here, to where we were not notified that this could possibly be deferred, that we could get a date sooner than May 14th? Appreciate the consideration.
Madam Chair, I'll just say that with our noticing timelines, we have a 15-day published notice that we need to get in the paper, and what the turnaround associated with that, kind of giving some lead time to that. Trying to find some time on commissioners' schedules that work outside of a regular hearing that also doesn't have council chambers booked for another commission meeting, is incredibly difficult and would be outside of the norm.
Understood. Josh, if we did hear this item and the project was put in a position where an appeal where it may be subject to an appeal, what would that timing look like?
Madam Chair, so if the decision was rendered tonight and that decision was appealed to City Council, it's difficult to say without looking at a schedule. It depends on council workload, but council scheduling is typically 6 to 8 weeks out.
Thank you. With all that under consideration, I would like to make a motion that we defer item DRH 24-00397 at 10 South Latah Street to the May 14th meeting date. Do we have a second?
A second.
Can we call the roll, please?
Aguilar,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
Thank you. Well, that concludes tonight's meeting. I appreciate everyone attending, and this item will be on the May 14th agenda. Thank you.